welcome to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host, and right now we are sitting in the tour van of Yip-Ah. Yip-Ah, can you say your name and then spell your name so that people in the internet can find you?
It's Yip-Ah, and it's spelled Yppah, and it's just happy backwards. It's, yeah. I didn't think it was going to be too confusing, but nobody ever really seems to get it. So it's just Yip-Ah now.
So why'd you decide to go with that?
It's a really dumb story, but it's...
But we love stories.
It was a mislabeled MP3. I had a Boards of Canada song, and it was titled Happy Backwards, but it was ending happy, or I forget. No, happy something, happy cycling. And yeah, it was just mislabeled, and it was happy backwards, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I'm just gonna use that, and I kind of just stuck with it. And stuck with me. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to the interview show with Scott Wood. That was horrible. Okay. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to the interview show with Scott Wood. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
All right, I'm Scott Wood. I'm the host of The Interview Show, and you've just heard Film Burn by Yppah featuring Anomie Bell. I've got Yppah with me. I would love it if you could talk a little bit about that track.
I remember, I think I started with the keys line on that one. I don't know why I kept thinking Zelda the whole time, because I'm really nerdy into games sometimes, especially my early younger years. But I just remember showing my friend, and he totally got it right off the bat. It was before I had vocals on it. He's like, man, this shit sounds like Zelda. I was like, good, because it probably is influenced by that. I don't know. It's I don't really understand how these things come together. They just kind of do. And then I'd really like to say where the vocal sample in the middle part's from, just because it totally doesn't sound where I got it from, but I can't do that because this is not supposed to have any samples. So I won't do that.
Can you give us?
I'm very proud of that part.
Can you give us a hint?
Yeah, it's they're a kind of monster that's very popular right now.
Okay, cool. So genre. When people talk about you, they often talk about all the genres that you mash together. They talk about all your influences. I'll list off a couple here to get us started. We've got hip hop, IDM, shoegazer. I wanted to ask you what genre means to you.
Like, I really don't care how other people classify me. I read so many different things, and like one day it'll be trip hop, and the next day somebody's saying it's shoegaze, and I mean, I guess it all kind of fits. So I just let other people decide. That's fine with me.
Okay, another signature element of yours is your use of reverb. So I was hoping you could talk about that.
I just like droney sounds, pretty much in every aspect, like even drums, and I don't know. It just fits into like trying to make stuff sound like the things that I've listened to that I enjoyed. I guess My Bloody Valentine uses a ton of reverb, and that's kind of where I stole it from first. Like I was like, oh, I want my stuff to sound like that, and then a little bit later I started thinking like kind of Phil Spector-y stuff on the drums, and he used a ton of reverb, but like in a really like tasteful way. So kind of wanted to get into that, and I kind of just finding like different styles of reverb use that people have used and kind of trying to mash it into my stuff, make it work.
So do you want to take a track on the current record, get a little geeky, and talk about one particular element you use the reverb on?
Well, the vocals for sure. Like I pretty much used them like a ton on that. I don't know, I kind of steal from the Ableton. Like I've been using Ableton a lot. So there's like I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's in like the audio effects rack. And I kind of tweaked some of the presets in there for her vocals. I noticed they got like a really cool, like almost vintage telephony sound. Can't really be specific on the one because I don't really look at it anymore. It's just like my preset now. But yeah, I guess that's one aspect I use it on. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
I'm Scott Wood. You're listening to The Interview Show. You just heard D Song by Yip-Ah featuring Anomie Bell. I've got Yip-Ah with me. Yip-Ah, I would love it if you could talk a little bit about that track.
That was one of the first demos that I started after I finished, or after I was kind of done from my hiatus from the second album, the They Know What Goes Snow album. I had that song like a different demo for that for a really long time. It was when I was, like, before I made the switch from Reason to Ableton completely, because I was making a lot of my synths on Reason and programming and stuff, but I dumped everything into Ableton and kind of really nerded out on that for a while. That was kind of like my experimental track, and that's when I realized that, yeah, that switch was pretty much the best decision I ever made. I'm kind of in love with that program.
So, this record marks your first collaboration with Anomie Bell, and I was hoping you could tell the audience who she is.
She is a singer. Well, actually, she's a producer who I met on tour with Bonobo, and she kind of does the same things that I do. Like, she produces all her own stuff and then has the band help her play it live. Though she's a way better musician. She plays violin, she sings, she plays keys, like, really great. And she played the last 2 dates in Portland and Seattle whenever we were support for his tour, and kind of just hit it off. We had a lot of the same influences and just kept in touch. And I gave her my demos before I sent them out to Ninja Tune this last time, and she was like, oh, before you send them, let me try some vocal stuff. And it worked out in my benefit because a lot of those songs changed a lot after she started singing on them. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I didn't really think about it too much because it was such a natural thing that I think that's kind of what stuck with me. Like, she was a real down-to-earth person, and I kind of just, I don't know, whenever I meet people backstage at shows, it's either super awkward or it's like really cool, and then you kind of don't really keep in touch. But this was the first time it felt like I was actually, you know, kind of meeting a new friend. You know how it feels when you meet a new friend or something. It's kind of like that. Like, it didn't feel forced or anything. I didn't, like, we had talked about working together, but it wasn't like the correspondence wasn't even like, oh, we should work together. It was more like, hey, how you doing?
So, did you bond backstage over a love of chicken wings?
No, pretty much just similar music. I mean, or similar styles of music. I think she was, I hadn't heard her stuff before, and so we really didn't bond until after I heard what she was doing. I was like, oh shit, it's really good stuff.
Okay, so your record, it's called 81. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about what the name of the album means to you?
It's the year of my birth, and I realized as I was writing the songs that a lot of them kind of, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like when you're a little kid and you kind of have melodies in your head, and this was like long before I was even making music, but I used to listen, for some reason I used to listen to a lot of Depeche Mode when I was younger, but I would take like those kind of songs and then I would invent my own Depeche Mode songs in my head, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I mean, they didn't exist, but I would kind of, and just throughout my life I would always have that with like different bands, and I kind of was realizing that these songs were translating into those melodies that I had before. Not even the exact melodies, like more of the feel of those songs that I was making up in my head when I was younger. And that's kind of why I called it 81, because, you know, it related to a lot of those moments throughout my life.
Cool, you've explained that beautifully. I also read that a lot of music on this record was inspired by learning to surf. And the quote I have is that you wanted the songs to feel like a warm wash.
Yeah, it was like I had done it a bit in Texas, but I mean, there's not really any decent surf in Texas. I mean, I'll probably get killed for saying that from some of my friends, but yeah, I mean, I've always been kind of like an ocean kid ever since, you know, growing up. I was born in Corpus Christi, and we'd always go to the beach as a young kid, and then even in Houston, like Galveston's like an hour away, and we'd go like pretty much a few times a week. I mean, not a week, a few times a month. And so we were always at the beach. I don't know, it's more, it doesn't even have a lot to do with surfing itself. It's more like just reminding me when, like, because the water in Galveston gets like really, really hot in the summer. And it's kind of like the stuff we listen to whenever we just be laying like in the coast, like just like right on the water. Okay. That feeling, almost like bath water, you know. Okay. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Hey, I'm Scott Wood. I'm the host of The Interview Show. You've just heard Again with Subtitles by Yip-Ah. That's a track off his first record, You Are Beautiful at All Times. I've got Yip-Ah with me, and I would love it if you could tell us a little bit about that track.
Oh, wow. That was kind of a long time ago. I don't know. I feel so disconnected from those songs. Like, I can't even remember how I made them.
Yeah. Well, you perform it every night, don't you?
No.
Really?
No, I don't perform any of the really old stuff. Like, everything's like from the new album. And Again with the Subtitles, I haven't performed that since like the first time we ever played. And then I didn't really perform it out anymore.
So I would love it if you could talk about your songwriting process and building a song and how you do it.
It's different every time. Lately, it's been mostly just writing on acoustic. I feel like my strongest ideas come from when I like build most of the song on acoustic guitar, and then I'll transfer it to keys but I'll record like a ton of guitar just all on each other, and I'll replace those sounds later on. I mean, in the very beginning, I remember it was real drum based. Like I would like just start programming these drums, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do melody wise, and so I'd sample a lot. But now it's more like I rarely sample, and when I do, it's just to kind of enhance what I've already like created. Rather, when I first started making stuff, it was way sample based because that kind of dictated what I was going to make over it.
Cool. Can you take a track from 81 and talk about it that way, and I'll play it over you talking?
Actually, Blue Schwinn, the keys line at the very beginning was started on acoustic, and that was just a ton of layering, and I ended up learning how to replay it on keys, but I'm not really proficient at keys that much, so it took me forever to get that part written. And after that one kind of came from an early demo that I had from Ableton also. Like I kind of combined it with stuff I'd already been doing, because I had the drum track and I thought it was really strong, but the song over it kind of sucked. And so I just stole that from that and mashed it together. And let me see. A lot of those sounds of the girl singing are like found sounds from this and that. I'd rather not mention where they're from, just so people don't know how easy it is to do. So there's that, and like I just pull stuff from a lot of different places. Like the little 8-bit twinkly sounds at the end are pieces of Ninja Turtles intro from the 8-bit version. Like I just chopped it up and did all kinds of stuff to it.
So what's the last weird sound that you've recorded that would be unexpectedly awesome to use in your music?
Plywood splitting. Like you kind of pull it and it's like, just splitting plywood. It sounds awesome. And I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to.
Dude, that is really awesome.
Thank you. I think it's going to sound awesome. I can't wait to mess with it some more.
Okay, I read in an interview where you said your biggest vice is drinking and staying out late. Right now you're on tour.
Did you read that?
It was in an interview you did for South by Southwest.
Oh, man.
And,
that was a long time ago.
And anyways, in the interview you said that was your biggest vice, drinking and staying out late. You're on tour right now, which is pretty good times to do those things. So I'd love one crazy story where Yip-Ah went out and had a good time.
I've been keeping it pretty tame, but yeah, it's still a vice of mine. I like to drink and I like to stay out late, and not to a fault anymore. Not like probably back then when I had that interview, but I don't know. I have buddies that live in Seattle now, which is cool. Like a whole bunch of people from Houston, and they've been taking me around, but nothing too crazy's happened. Just drink a little too much. That's about it. Can't really give you anything other than that. If I had something, I totally would.
All right, well,
I know
I'm not ready to let it go.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to think of something, but besides getting stranded downtown for like 3 hours because my friend was too drunk to find her friend's house, that's about it. But see, that wasn't even me. That was her. Then I had to take a cab home.
All right, I'm going to let it go. Let it go.
Because it's not that interesting.
All right, if you say so. All right, Yip-Ah, I've appreciated you coming on the show. Thank you very much. I would love it if, as we end the show, you could take one track off your current record, 81, and talk a little bit about it as I bring up the tune.
Soon Enough would be one that I would like to talk about. That's probably my favorite track on the album. And it's probably the one that Toby most helped me finish. I mean, it was like the second half of that song was completely different than it is now. Then after she did the vocals, I ended up just chopping off the second half and like redoing it. But the first part, I don't know. That was the one that I had fleshed out the most from the beginning. Like, I had a vocal melody. I sent her the vocal melody, and she totally didn't use any of it, and I'm glad she didn't. Because I remember at first I was like, what the hell? I told her to do this. But, yeah, she kind of did what she wanted with it, and it came out the best in my opinion. Like, I love the feel from, like, the really chill acoustic build up, and then it kind of goes into, like, a real, like, obnoxiously happy ending with, like, really hard drums.
Okay, so we're going to listen to Soon Enough by Yip-Ah featuring Anomie Bell, who he calls Toby.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I should probably be calling her that because it's very confusing. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to the interview show with Scott Wood. That was horrible. Okay. Hi, I'm Yip-Ah, and you're listening to the interview show with Scott Wood.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.